Now a story you were seeing first on CBS this morning. There is new evidence of just how differently men and women view sex. The Sex in America survey appears in the April issue of both Esquire and Cosmopolitan magazines. 2,000 people shared opinions on everything from sex on the first date, no, to chivalry and even sexual assault. Esquire senior editor Richard Dorment and Cosmo executive editor Leslie Yazel are with us. Good morning.
What's wrong with sex on the first date?
I just think, Charlie, I was raised at a time where you just don't want to send the message of sex on the first date. I don't care how attracted I am to you, and even if I want to, I'm not having sex on the first date. Just
how many
on principle.
dates do you require?
It's not a matter of the number of dates, but not 2 or 3 either.
So this is
It has to
really,
be the feeling. It has to be the
clearly,
feeling.
Charlie thinks sex on the first date is
I was just
okay.
going to say, Charlie, you think sex on?
And what?
Is
And what?
okay? Wait, Nora.
Okay,
wait.
sorry.
Sex on the first date. If you have sex on the first date, do you think less of a person who has sex with you on the first date?
No.
You don't?
No.
Oh, God. I don't know. I still think men judge you.
They
Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. We actually have guests at the table.
Welcome to our program.
Well, no, this is great because
Okay,
this is exactly
Yes.
why we wanted to do this survey. Why Esquire and Cosmopolitan, along with SurveyMonkey, decided to do this survey was because men and women have different intentions and expectations when it comes to everything from romance to how we're viewing the news. So,
But maybe the times have changed. I'm really serious about this. Is it no longer taboo to have sex on the first date? Is it no big deal?
Well, when we ask about the second or third date, and if you can expect it, and men and women said yes. Like, there were a lot of similarities here, and that was one of them.
All right, let's talk about some of the different misperceptions. 51% of women and 36% of men have sent a naked selfie.
I don't get that
You
either.
were not that
Yes.
surprised by
I
that?
wasn't that surprised in a relationship because people have long-distance relationships. They're doing it as sort of foreplay, like, see you later, check me out. But I was shocked that, like, 26% of men send a naked selfie to a crush. So someone they're trying to
To a
woo.
crush.
Someone they're trying to. So if he sends a picture of himself, I'm supposed to be impressed.
I don't think
What do you
it's,
say,
I don't think
Rich?
it's doing what they think it's doing.
Okay.
This may be
Personally,
bad.
yeah.
I can honestly say Charlie's never sent me a naked selfie. How about you, Nora?
Nor anyone
Yes.
else.
Yes.
Or anyone
Let's
else.
get that straight.
I don't know. You're much more progressive than I am, so I don't know.
Okay, these are really interesting. All right, Rich, 53% of women and 59% of men believe if you go home together on the first or second date, you are going to have sex. So majority of people assume if you go home, you're going to have sex.
Yeah, and what's interesting about that is that men and women are more or less on the same page when you account for the margin of error. There isn't this lag where you'd expect, like, all the men to say yes and all the women to say no. There really is this fact that, you know, when
There's
it comes to
agreement.
sex on this first or second date, there's a lot of agreement. Yeah.
But Rich, why couldn't I say I want to come home and watch House of Cards, or I want to come home and watch something? Why would you assume that if we're having a great time, and I'm serious, I'm not even trying to be cute, that I'm having a good time on a date, and I say you want to come over? Why is there your assumption on his part?
Well, you know what's really important about that is a sense of communication,
exactly.
of making it clear
Exactly.
what you're,
Yeah,
what
it
you're
ought to be
expecting.
fun to be able to go and say, I don't want to have sex.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
I mean, the interesting thing to me also about this, do men and women differ in terms of how they perceive whether men or women want sex more? In other words, the desire for sex, is there different between men and women?
I don't know if we looked at that specifically, but I think the old stereotype of, like, he wants it more than her is kind of out the window, especially with, like, a younger Cosmo reader. These are empowered women. They know what they want.
Exactly.
You know,
And
they're
no
going to ask.
apologies for it.
Yeah, and they're going to ask the man out,
Right,
and that's okay.
and one interesting statistic that we saw was that when you asked a man and a woman who should make the first move, almost everybody says it doesn't matter.
That's the one
Who should make
that's the
first
one
move.
I highlighted. I
agree.
mean, 90 and 80% said who cares who makes
Yeah,
the first
doesn't
move.
matter. But what's interesting is that of the men who express a preference, they're twice as likely to say they want the woman to make the first
right.
move rather than, you know, them make the first
I
move.
actually like that, because I
know.
also think the days of a woman not being able to speak up and say I want it should be over. You ought to be able to say, yeah, I like you, let's go. This is a thing that I thought was
And
interesting.
men like that, by the way.
They do. I believe that too. This is the thing that I thought was surprising in your survey, that more than half of the men believe that under the right circumstances, most men are capable of rape. I
were
didn't
both
understand
shocked.
that.
Shocked by that.
Really
And
big
it's
surprise.
almost equal percentages of men and women. And I mean, Esquire has a tagline, man at his best, on every issue.
Yeah.
To read that and to see that's how American men are thinking is really shocking.
What does that say, you guys?
I mean, from the woman's point of view, I think it's kind of an acknowledgement that there isn't the stereotype of a rapist as this cartoon villain or a stranger. Because of the headlines we've seen lately, women understand that a rapist could be a friend, it could be someone in your social circle, it could be a date. There's just
And
greater
men have to
awareness.
understand that no means no.
Yes.
Well, and I think also men might be responding to what they're reading in the news. I mean, over the past year, we've seen too many men behaving very, very badly towards women, so I think that might color it as well.
Did you find that we're more alike than we are different on this topic?
I think on this particular topic, I think we can all agree what constitutes certain actual acts of sexual violence. But when you start asking about how serious a problem it is, women are much more likely to think it's an extremely serious problem.
Awareness is
than men
higher
are.
among women.
Yeah.
Men don't think it's as big a problem as it is.
Yeah.
More women acknowledge that they've been sexually harassed. Men don't think it's happening as often as women do.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, I was talking about sex in general. Are we more alike? That's what I meant.
Richard and Leslie, thank you.
Topic.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
survey,
Really, it was
guys.
really interesting to read through all of it. You got nice graphics and stuff on the website. So
And
yeah,
that
so
the two
thank
of you teamed up. Nice.
Yeah.
You know.